Welcome to our poster presentation titled It's Different and It's Not, Perceptions of Older Siblings of Children with Disabilities. This poster is based on Dr. Reimer's dissertation. My name is Jessie and I'll be going over the participants and method sections. Julia will start out with the introduction, followed by Miranda going over the identified themes, and ending with Cassie going over the discussion.
This study examined the risk and resilience factors associated with having a younger sibling with an intellectual disability, with the goal of better understanding how this relationship unfolds and impacts the development of both individuals. Sibling relationships are universally appreciated and contribute to social, cognitive, and behavioral development. When one sibling has special needs, it can alter their typical sibling relationship and create stress in the family. Perceived closeness in the sibling relationship can be affected by patterns of support in the home environment, difficulty in emotion regulation, and impairments in communication. Siblings of children with disabilities also often take on caregiving roles. The family unit may also experience more stressors and are at an increased susceptibility to mental health problems. Despite these increased challenges, many siblings adopt coping mechanisms and build resilience to overcome these hardships. Studies incorporating a psychological resilience framework highlight the ways these siblings positively respond to stressors. These frameworks focus on the interplay between protective processes, assets, and risk factors across developmental pathways. By focusing on the voices and perspectives of these older siblings, we can develop insight into specific stressors and resilience processes, and use this information to generate specific support for these siblings and their families.
The purpose of this post-intentional phenomenological research study was not only to identify unique challenges that siblings with disabilities may face, but also to emphasize the positive aspects of these sibling relationships. 5 participants and their families participated in this study. All of the participants chose pseudonyms and went by the names Rachel, Edward, Paige, Phoebe, and Carrie. All of the participants identified as white were between the ages of 13 to 17 and have a sibling with a diagnosis of Down syndrome or autism spectrum disorder with an intellectual disability diagnosis. This study was conducted using a phenomenological epistemology. We focused on the older siblings' experiences and perspectives of their relationship with their sibling with a severe intellectual disability. To gain these perspectives, each participant wrote a daily check-in journal for a week that outlined their day-to-day experiences and interactions with their sibling. Photo elicitation journals were also used to build rapport and gain insight on the family dynamics. The participants were asked to choose any 5 photos that they thought best described what it is like to be the older sibling to a child with an intellectual disability. And then lastly, a semi-structured interview was conducted. These questions were based on the psychological resilience framework and lasted an average of 41 minutes.
The purpose of this present study was to identify unique challenges that siblings with disabilities may face, but also through interviews as well as different qualitative methods, really wanted to emphasize the positive aspects of these sibling relationships. We did that through identifying 5 different themes. These themes range from process of learning about the disability, adjustments within the family system, as well as potential benefits, looping back to that main purpose. The 5 themes can be found here in this graph, as well as the different sub-themes or the different quotes that went into the thematic analysis, as well as looking at those themes. Something interesting to point out is looking at the 5 identified themes. Of course, within those themes, we have sub-themes or synopsises of quotes that were given by the siblings of the children with disabilities.
These identified themes suggest that we might want to function within this family system and not only within the SPED system. And so one way that we can do that as school psychologists is maybe creating a group for siblings of people with disabilities who can come and they can feel not so alone and help to build that resilience factor within themselves. As our participants noted, that initial identification of their siblings' disability is a really challenging time for them, and this might be a prime opportunity for us to provide a group or even individualized therapy in order to address any concerns and feelings that they're having as they are navigating this new world. We can also encourage open dialogue with the family about how much caretaking the sibling is taking on, as well as having opportunities for that sibling to develop their own individualized identity.